30 years ago, the world made a promise in Beijing, a promise of equality, dignity, and freedom for women everywhere. It wasn't just about banners or speeches, it was about a real change that was meant to be transformative. In Nigeria, West Africa, a country of over 200 million people, of about which half are women, progress has been made in the actualization of these goals. In northern Nigeria, there has been progress made despite cultural and religious barriers and armed conflict, which have relegated women and girls for centuries. Since the Beijing Declaration, strides have been made in northern Nigeria. There are now even women in politics, business, and academia. Recently, elections in Nigeria presented 3 senators, 16 House of Representative members, 3 deputy governors, and 23 local government chairmen, who are all women. This testifies to the fact that progress has been made. These strides have been backed by policies like the National Gender Policy of 2006, which stipulated that 35% of available political positions should be occupied by women. These efforts are credited to some states in Nigeria. Several states have domesticated these efforts with enactment of laws and organizations that protect and promote women's rights. Stephanos Foundation is a faith-based, non-governmental organization working with victims of persecution in Nigeria. Recently, Stephanos Foundation researched the state of achievement of the objectives of the Beijing Conference in northern Nigeria. The research confirmed that while some progress has been made in awareness, advocacy, and education, there are still significant challenges in ensuring empowerment and equitable protection from all forms of abuse, as well as access to justice for women and the girl child. The research, which focused on northern Nigeria, took a case study of 3 states within the 3 geopolitical zones: Plateau for North Central, Adamawa for Northeast, and Kebbi for Northwest. Stephanos Foundation's research shows that Plateau State has made significant efforts to increase women's participation in governance. Presently, Plateau State has a female deputy governor. Under Plateau State's current government, we've seen the establishment of the Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission, a family court, and a gender court, all of which have shown the intentionality of the government in issues of women's rights. The government has also lent support to NGOs, many of which cater to women's and children's rights, and appointed women as both director of the SDGs in the state and coordinator non-governmental organizations. The Adamawa State government has shown this interest through the establishment and coordination of mechanisms for gender-responsive security operations through the WPS networks in the state, He for She and Women Mentors, security sector legislation, policies and institutions to promote gender equality and women's participation and rights. All these are alongside women empowerment programs, improvement of social welfare, promotion of gender-based equality, and the enhancement of the economic empowerment of women in collaboration with the legislative arm of the state, tackling issues of gender-based violence promptly. In Kebbi State, unlike in Plateau and Adamawa states, a female deputy governor has not yet been produced. However, there have also been efforts made to improve women's rights. The Kebbi State government has shown this through the introduction of Nigeria for Women project, under which over 58,000 women have been empowered economically. Gender parity and equity in governance and politics are evidenced by having at least one female councillor in all 21 of the local government areas in the state. The creation and enforcement of the law on the protection of children's rights and violence against individuals, including gender-based violence, and the inauguration and revitalization of the GBV Technical Working Group in collaboration with other civil society organizations all work to crack open the culture of silence. Although significant progress has been made since 1985, northern Nigeria still needs encouragement in several areas. In these states, traditional norms limit women's autonomy, thereby restricting access to education, economic opportunities, and leadership roles. Many are widows, victims of attacks on their communities, who are left without support or resources. Forced out of mainstream economic opportunities, they turn to petty trading and subsistence farming, earning far less than men and struggling to survive. This economic disparity, combined with limited access to credit, land, or vocational training, keeps these women in the cycle of poverty.
Many girls are deprived from education. Many girls stop at secondary school level.
There are so many parents that they will say, I will not pay school fees for women because they will, if I educate my ladies, they will go to their husband's house and finish their life there. So women face challenges in time of education.
Education is one of the pillars of the Beijing Conference, but in this region, the right to learn remains a privilege and not a guarantee. Many girls face discrimination, lack of school funding, and constant threats of violence. Schools have been burnt, teachers killed, and students forcefully abducted. On another hand, the prevalent cases of early marriage has continued in some communities, despite the huge consequences on their health and reproductive rights. Yet, these girls persist, seeking knowledge.
Gender-based violence has remained a devastating reality in Plateau State, particularly in conflict-affected areas. Women and girls are disproportionately affected, facing sexual violence, exploitation, and abuse. It is pertinent that we acknowledge the intersection between poverty, conflict, and social inequality in fueling sexual gender-based violence. Let us work together to promote safe spaces, support survivors, and advocate for policies that protect the rights and dignities of individuals, including women and girls in Plateau State.
A darker reality overshadows many women and young girls where gender-based violence is concerned. Women have been raped and killed in targeted attacks. In recent times, young girls have been murdered for ritualistic practices, their bodies used for dark rituals. The recent killing of Salome in a suburban area in Nigeria and the ongoing case is one of many such accounts. These crimes go largely unpunished, leaving families in despair and communities in fear.
In our community, we have only PHC. That's the primary health care. They are not doing operation. And if a pregnant woman came to the facility, she want to deliver a baby, there's not enough of material that can be used to make her operated in the primary health care. They have to refer her to secondary health care, that's the specialist, or tertiary, that's the FMC, Federal Medical.
The violence against women extends beyond physical attacks, affecting their access to essential services like healthcare. In rural areas, quality healthcare is out of reach. Maternal mortality rates are high, with expectant mothers facing life-threatening complications due to inadequate pre- and postnatal care. A shortage of skilled professionals and poor medical facilities make childbirth a perilous ordeal.
This is where women give birth. That's the toilet. This is where people give birth. In this primary healthcare center, this is the only forceps in this entire place. They don't have more than this. When women come at night to give birth and there's no light in the hospital, how do you take their deliveries?
We are just using our phone, torchlight.
You're using the torchlight of your phone to take the deliveries.
Yeah.
What if there's bleeding? How do you know where it's bleeding? Have you seen the problem that we're facing in this country? That is the electricity that is powering this entire hospital. If your leader is not serious about the primary healthcare center, they are wasting their time. Because the primary healthcare center is the first level of healthcare in any country, any state, any local government that is serious about healthcare. This hospital does not even have adequate solar care. There's no lights. There are women who give birth in these hospitals. You can see what the labor room looks like. There are people who are going to need wound care. You can see what the wards look like. There are children who require help from this hospital. You can see what the resources look like. Vaccines have to be imported from another hospital just so that they can be given to the people here.
30 years after Beijing, the struggle remains, but so does the resilience of northern Nigeria's women. Their fight for justice is not over, their voices will not be silenced, and their hope will not fade. The government must maintain and enforce its gender policies that protect women's rights. NGOs and civil societies must continue in their advocacy and support for survivors. Beijing Promise was a call to action, one that must be fulfilled to ensure a future where all women can thrive. Stephanos Foundation calls on the United Nations, other member countries, and interested donors worldwide to look into strengthening existing efforts and supporting new initiatives. The actualization of women's rights is a task that requires all hands on deck. Stephanos Foundation is committed to promoting the rights of women and girls. Partner with us today.